Looking to take your hamstring rehab to the next level? Stick around, this video is for you.
I'ma wake up, do damage. Join them subs, boredom. Working on any more though.
Welcome back everyone, Burke from Focus Physical Therapy here. If you're new to the channel, each video I try to bring you useful tips on rehabilitation, training, and recovery. Thanks for joining me. The hamstrings are super critical for speed, acceleration, power for so many leg-driven activities and sports. And for that reason, we need them to be in top condition. There are many exercises that can be used to train the hamstring. As a rehab specialist, here are a few that I use to bridge the gap between the simple exercises and the really dynamic exercises that allow athletes to get back to their top performance. Now, most athletes will train the hamstring doing squats and deadlifts, and those are great exercises. I really like them. I use them all the time. The only challenge with them is that they don't tend to spend as much time at the very edges of our motion and strength as these exercises I'm going to share with you today. When I see injuries, it's often at the periphery of what that hamstring can do. It's at the last few degrees of hamstring flexibility. It's at the last few degrees of leg extension during a sprint or a cutting activity. And so today, these three exercises I've put together for you are going to really work at the ends, the margins of our mobility, because that's typically where I see the least amount of protective strength. Let's get right into it. The first is a single leg bridge on a box or block. I love this exercise because it's progressive. I can start with 2 legs and progress to 1. By moving the box farther away, I can make the exercise more difficult, and by bringing it in, I can make it a little bit easier. I can destabilize the surface by going from a box to a ball, for example, or a BOSU. There are lots of ways to make this exercise more challenging, and it's really targeted. It exposes weaknesses in the hamstring that we might not see otherwise. I can compare repetitions and height from one side to the other, so just within one quick exercise, I can really learn a lot of information, and I can challenge that hamstring to be more dynamic and powerful. The next exercise I really love is a hip thrust. And what I love about this is that I can also go from 2-leg to a 1-leg version, and I can add tons of overload, which allows this exercise to scale up in difficulty as we add more weight. So a hip thrust is one of my favorite hamstring high-level exercises, and I highly recommend them. And the last of this set of 3 dynamic high-level hamstring exercises is going to be a single-leg deadlift. There are many ways to do this. The way that I prefer is using dumbbells or kettlebells held in the hands, finding a good stable single-leg stance, and tipping forward as if to touch the weight to the ground, and then powerfully coming upright again. I featured this exercise in another video that I did on single leg stability. If you haven't already seen that video, I'll leave a link to it for you to check out. There's some great exercises in there for you. When it comes to training the hamstring, for frequency, I typically will keep it low, relatively speaking, a couple times a week, maybe 3 times a week if we're really in a building part of an exercise cycle or season. Otherwise, twice a week is plenty. Once the hamstring is fatigued, we lose some of its protective strength. So I try not to overtrain the hamstring when it's mid-season or when I really need that hamstring to have the endurance for an actual activity. Other than that, these are straightforward. I hope you enjoy and get a lot out of them. Good luck with your training, and we'll see you next time.